Hi guys, welcome back to Father and Son Investing. I'm the father, if you haven't guessed. The son is off being a missionary. He should be back sometime in July. Today we're going to be talking about Treasury bills and which one to buy. Several months ago I did a video talking about Treasury bills and which one I thought was the best one to be buying. At that time I said actually the 8-week one is the one that looked most appealing to me, and that was the one I was purchasing. This is an update for that. We're going to talk about which Treasury bill to buy now as of January 28th, 2023. I'm also going to show you what your future Treasury bills that you hold now may look like as rates start to change. And we'll talk about how quickly you can calculate that on your own. All of this in about 6 minutes or less. This really is going to narrow in now on what Treasury bills have been doing since June of 2022. I want to show you this because it really highlights the data a little better, and I think being able to see it graphically helps. So this is the 4-week and what it's been doing. We'll bring in the 8-week, the 13-week, the 17-week, the 26-week, and the 52-week. Back when I talked about this several months ago, the spread here was really quite a bit. I want you to notice that. Look at the spread between the 4-week and the 52-week. That's really a fairly big gap. Not quite double, but it's in that double range right there. Now we're really going to narrow in on what the gap looked like before and what the gap currently looks like. So we're going to start from October of 2022 and go to the latest results. We'll bring in again the 4-week, the 8-week, the 13-week, the 17-week, the 26-week, and finally the 52-week. Again, remember back here in October, there was really quite a spread between all of these Treasury bills. Now look at what this looks like. They're all starting to congregate here in this same region. In fact, the 52-week really topped out, back here early December, and you'll see that it's been declining. The 52-week only sells every 4 weeks, and so we don't have as many data points for that. Notice, though, that the 4-week and the 8-week Treasury bill, the yields on these, now I'm showing you investment rates. I'm doing investment rates because in order to compare really the different Treasury bills, you really need one standard rate that you can compare. That's going to be the investment rate. You can also compare that to your annual rate on your high yield savings account or on a CD. So that's what's nice about these investment rates. So what you'll see out of this is that the environment for Treasury bills has changed significantly over the last 3 months. All of these, the gap is narrowing. They're all starting to come together around roughly a same interest rate. So the question then that you have to ask yourself is, which is the best Treasury bill to be buying now? Now, I can't necessarily answer that for you because there are some variables that you have to ask yourself as well. One of them is, how soon do you need the money? If you need the money in 8 weeks, then it doesn't obviously make any sense to buy a 52-week Treasury bill. So there are some variables here, but just looking at what the rates, the yields are doing, which Treasury bill am I most interested in now, and which one do I want to buy? I am most interested in the 26-week Treasury bill. Why is that? Well, you're looking at the highest yield, number one, and we see that these yield curves really are kind of flattening out here, and I expect that these are going to start to follow the path of the 52-week Treasury bill, really with the 4-week one lagging the most. Of course, we saw that on the upswing, the 4-week Treasury bill was lagging, and I think that the downturn for the 4-week Treasury bill yield is also going to lag the others. Nevertheless, I am interested in the 26-week Treasury bill. We're looking at about 4.8% annualized return there. The high yield is not the only reason that I'm interested in the 26-week Treasury bill. A secondary reason is what the future value of that Treasury bill may be. If you're familiar with bonds, you know that when bond prices rise, the yields drop. Similarly, when yields rise, bond prices will drop. Now, if the yield on the 26-week Treasury bill starts falling, the value of a Treasury bill purchased today, or the most recent one of January 24th, 2023, will actually increase because investors will be looking to get a better yield, and if the yield on the Treasury bill that I have purchased is better than what they can currently buy right now, that will raise the price of my Treasury bill. So while we're covering this topic, this will be the last point we're going to make here. Let's just talk about how you're going to determine maybe what the future value of your Treasury bill might be. Really, it will be the present value in the future, if that makes sense. So this is a formula that you can use. We're going to do one modification here that I'll show you in just a second. But essentially, P is going to be the price that someone is going to pay. You are either going to pay for a Treasury bill purchased on the secondary market, or someone is going to pay you for your Treasury bill. S is going to be the face value of the Treasury bill. Remember that Treasury bills are sold at par value, meaning your $100 Treasury bill you might buy at $99.50. But in the future, it will be worth $100. So we're going to put what that future value is, the par value when you redeem it, is going to be that face value, and that's going to be S here. Now, the current rate, R is going to be the current rate. That means not the rate that you necessarily purchased your Treasury bill at, but what rates are now. Remember, those rates are always going up and down, and someone who's interested in purchasing it wants to do it at the current rate. Lastly, T for time, that's going to be the days to maturity. In order to figure that out, you're going to count the present day, and you're not going to count the day that it matures. Just keep that in mind. Now, I have here divided by 365 because that's what you might think makes sense. Of course, 365 days in a year, but the Treasury actually does something, well, accounting does this. We're going to change that to 360 days because the Treasury uses this accounting year of 360 days. I know that doesn't make sense, but that's what it is, and so that's what we're going to do. So instead of using 365, you're going to use 360 there to divide. This is the formula. This is how you're going to figure out what the value of a Treasury bill is that you're either interested in purchasing on a secondary market, or if you're selling, trying to figure out what you might be able to sell your Treasury bill for. All right, so that's what I have for you today. Which Treasury bill do I think is the best one right now? The 26-week Treasury bill, for the two reasons I mentioned: a little bit higher yield, and I think that yields are going to be following the path of the 52-week Treasury bill soon, where they are going to be declining. That will raise the value of my 26-week Treasury bill should I decide that I need to sell it early. If this was useful information for you, please give us a thumbs up. We need that for the channel. Please subscribe if you're interested in seeing more videos like this. And as always on this channel, we want you to share this kind of information with a young person in your life. Get them investing early, using their money in sound ways, and help make a difference for their financial future. Until next time, enjoy your investing.